this afternoon. The man who's played for both clubs in Jonathan Davies. A man who will give us a managerial perspective in John Keir and Dave Woods.
Thank you, Mark. Nothing like a build-up. Well, plenty of stake here. Prize of a Challenge Cup semi-final. A potential Wembley date down the line. But over and above all of that, local pride. Two towns, 7 miles apart, divided by their contrasting passions. Should be a good game here. Widnes, the table tells you, the recent results tell you, have lost a bit of form. They set off like a house on fire this year. A lot of people were saying, are they the Leicester City of Rugby League, the way they started? But they faded away. They're looking to hang on to a top 8 spot, but they haven't lost by many. The games they have lost. Great noise. These are the teams. Warrington, a few potential game breakers all across the back line. Chris Sandow on his night is particularly eye-catching, and it's a pack that carries a bag full of tricks as well. As far as Widnes are concerned, well, they've shown this season how good they can be. When they are at their best, Kevin Brown tends to be at his best, and Chris Houston's return after a month off with the mumps will be a big boost as well in the second row. Dennis Betts, the Widnes coach, he certainly packs plenty of Challenge Cup experience, 7 times a Challenge Cup winner with Wigan. And here's our referee for the night, James Child. It's going to be Widnes and Rhys Hambury to get things underway. Warrington are 8 times Challenge Cup winners. The most recent only 4 years ago. Widnes have won 7 Challenge Cups. But you have to be old enough to remember Jonathan Davies playing to recall their last Wembley success back in 1984. And Benny Westwood is the man who leads the drive right at the start here for the Warrington Wolves. So let's hear the opinions as this game gets underway from Jonathan Davies and John Keir.
Well, it's very important both teams look after the ball, because as the guy said in the build-up, there has been showers prior to this. The surface was pretty greasy, so it'll be interesting to see which team completes set, which team buys territory with a good kicking game.
Yeah, I agree. The kicking game is going to be crucial. The ball's going to be slippery. You've got to try and keep possession, as the boy said in studio. I think Widnes' attitude in defence, if they get the defence right, they can hang on in there, and they are confident of their scoring ability and creativity, so they have to hang on in there.
Here's Sandow with a kick. It's a tester in the conditions, but Hambury catches it well enough. We talk about it. It's not raining at the moment. It's a very greasy surface here tonight. We had a very strange meteorological phenomenon as well, didn't we, before the game kicked off? Jonathan Davies noticed. It was raining in one half, and it was sunny in the other. And Jonathan was amazed. Doesn't see much sunshine, do you,
Thank you, Michael Fish.
Under any circumstances. So Widnes moving towards the halfway line. It's their new signing, Jack Buchanan, who's arrived from West's Tigers just over a month ago. It's only his 5th appearance for Widnes since his arrival, and Kevin Brown with an early steadier, just looking for the touchline and finding it.
Yeah, both teams will be pretty happy with the starts. They've both looked after the ball. They've chewed up the meters, mainly with low-risk plays, and the kicks have been adequate. More testing the Warrington kick from Sandow to Hambury. That's more of one. Let's walk to the scrum, get our defence set, and really rev up to defend.
I think Mark Chapman is asking about the studio. It's a very, very fierce local derby, and what have you got to do? The first thing is, it's a lot cleaner now than when we played. But you've got to keep control of your emotions, Discipline is absolutely crucial in today's game, and anybody who spends 10 minutes in the bin gives the opposition a huge advantage. You've got to keep control of your emotions.
There's Atkins, who's up to the 40-metre mark and picked up by the young gun Ben Curry, who's been catching the eye this year and last, certainly. And Darryl Clark at dummy half will carry it towards his left-hand side, and Widnes are being pushed back a yard or two. Tony Smith, the Warrington coach, looking on. Here's Sandow, Gidley, Westwood. Oh, he was tackled in the aftermath of the event by Luluai, trying to stop Gidley. Here is Gidley with a kick downfield. Arvan puts his name on it. and catches it safely enough. Evans has advanced, and Widnes start from there.
The crucial thing there for Widnes, they put intense pressure on Gidley on 2 occasions. They put him on the deck the first time, then when he was about to kick, he just got off his feet and he was under pressure again. It was an easy take for Arvan.
Fact is tonight, the circumstances of tonight is that win or lose for Warrington here, you'd still expect them to figure in the late stages of the year in the search for silverware, the playoffs, and that route to Old Trafford in a grand final. This is it for Widnes, isn't it? Realistically, this is their season here tonight.
It is. There's a big achievement if they get into the top 8, but that's a poor kick from Kevin Brown. There's been a lot of hype around the guy, and he's an outstanding halfback. But that was a pretty shoddy effort of the kick there. Came off the outside of the boot, straight out of play, and it'll be a turnover with Warrington 35 metres away. First real opportunity, Jonathan.
First mistake, and he just leant back in the kick and just sliced it off the boot. He was looking for a 40-20 kick, but now the pressure is on Widnes.
Here's Gidley. The ball back on the inside, and there's a chance here for Hughes to stretch and get over the line. Jack Hughes. An indirect consequence of the slice kick to touch is that Warrington have an opening score in the very early stages of this game.
Yeah, as we said, field position there, but you wouldn't expect Warrington to score that easy. I think Dennis Best will be very disappointed. First, the mistake with a kick to touch. But, big, strong run from Jack Hughes. But I think he'd be surprised. He broke through the 2 tackles, then, as an ex-centre, just skirted on the full-back.
Yeah, this is the kick there, and Brown's effort straight out on the full gave the turnover to the Wolves. That gave the field position. It's a little drop-off ball there from Gidley, and that's a good play under these greasy conditions, because it does test the players being able to stop and use the footwork to make the tackle. Well, they obviously couldn't, because Hughes came through, straight through the other side, through Hep Cale, who's really a good defender normally, rounds Hanbury for a really good try.
I think he overread the play there. He went across too early and he lost his footing and trying to pick up Hughes, the runner. So he just overread the play, and it was a missed tackle. So very good start by Warrington. Widnes will be disappointed with the defence.
There's a little bit of fury there, isn't there, from Kevin Brown. A bit of self-admonishment, I think, going on behind the sticks. Widnes under early pressure, Warrington with the early ascendancy, and Kurt Gidley is the man who's going to attempt the kick for goal from here. Such a professional influence on this side, hasn't he? It's not necessarily the flashiest of players, but in terms of what he gives the side, he's got such pedigree. And there's the kick that looks successful and is, and Warrington lead here by 6 points to 0.
He's solid. He's a great professional. He's done the hard yards in Newcastle, the good and bad. Just watch. One of them, 19, he overreads the play, Cahill, and then it's just easy for Hughes to run through. But going back to Gidley, he's a great organiser, and he just complements Sandu.
There's Westwood again. Eager to lead the charge on both kick-offs in the game so far, and Hill is never far behind when it comes to fronting up in the early stages of a set. Clark having a little look around, the man of steel a couple of years ago. Dummy shown, not taken. Widnes have their tackle, but Warrington are up to the 30-metre mark. Atkins at dummy half. Ratchford again now. It's a quick start by Warrington here. Sandow. Westerman lays it off for the big fella again in Benny Westwood, wearing number 13 on his back tonight, but nominally a prop forward in terms of selection. The kick is taken safely enough by Hanbury, but the chase is going to make sure he goes no further than that, and maybe a couple of strides back again.
It started very, very well of the Warrington Wolves, and there's little indicators you can tell with the team if a team's come ready to play, prepared to play. And one of them really is the kick chase. It's been exceptional, but they'll also be disappointed with that aspect of their discipline. A pretty unnecessary penalty, which has just piggybacked the Widnes Vikings up the field, so they actually start a set now in midfield. So let's see what their attack has to offer.
6 to go from here, and here comes Buchanan.
Help! Release!
Spinning away, the tackle's called held, and the referee decides there was a second effort in there after he'd screamed. So another penalty for Widnes.
Well, you're not going to get easier yardage than that. From being way deep inside their own half, no, they have a great attacking position.
Hold!
Don't see as many penalties for that these days, do we? The referee kind of errs on the idea of just letting the game carry on. Here's White.
Darryl, move!
15 yards away here, Widnes. Set fair for the first time in the game so far. It's Brown on that left-hand side, offers it back on the inside for McGrath Luluai.
Stand, Holben.
White. Here's Brown. Hanbury, quick hands, too quick, giving it away. And almost a chance for Russell to escape downfield. He's held on too long by Arvan, and Warrington now get the penalty.
I think it's a significant difference in the play of the ball. Warrington are on the front foot. They're getting a far quicker play of the ball. Widnes a lot slower, so the line speed of Warrington is a lot faster because the play of the ball is a lot slower.
Not set the 10.
The timing of the play wasn't the best, though, was it, Jonathan? Runciman was much too early, over on the pass from Hanbury, and it just looked a little shoddy at that point.
You've got to stick then, haven't you, John? You know, you can't, if he's overrunning, you've got to stick and make that decision as the ball carrier. They need to build pressure in the Warrington, 20.
Westwood. A couple of tackles gone. Remind you that Wakefield are already in the semi-finals for the first time since John Keir took them there in 2008. One of these two join them tonight, and two more tomorrow from Hull against Catalan and Wigan against Castleford. On air on BBC Two at 5:15 tomorrow for that Wigan-Castleford game.
Great achievement by Wakefield. They've turned the season around.
Here's Clark with the pass. Westwood, Sandow picks up. It's been an incredible story, hasn't it, Wakefield?
A great turnaround, hasn't it? And it could be a great conclusion to the season, but that's a decent kick as well.
Ratchford's kick. Oh, it's an awkward bounce, and Hanbury comes up with possession in the end.
Well, the Warrington kicks, the end of the Warrington sets, are asking questions, aren't they? They're really putting pressure on the catches of the Vikings, but once again, a pretty cheap penalty. It's been littered really with penalties, hasn't it, at the minute?
Yeah.
Shoulder charge.
It's a great kick, nobody claims it. Penalty. Shoulder charge, Sandow.
Wait on the ball, wait!
So the tap by Bridge, who was a hero here not that long ago, before he switched to Widnes. Hanbury to twist and turn, but not finding any purchase at the moment. Houston on that left-hand side. They've got a quick play the ball, which has got White, running wide to Arvan. And they're making decent progress here, Widnes. Inside this Warrington half by a distance. It's McGrath Luluai, who tries to straighten up. There's still a couple of tackles to go in this set as well. Brown across to Miller. Here's Hanbury looking to chime in, but Warrington's defence is organised. And here comes the last. Well, it's not the last, because the referee, I think, is going to give Widnes another penalty.
Okay. Wait. Ryan.
Hanbury and Atkins just having a little tete-a-tete.
Just walk away.
Apologies if you did pick any language there.
Time off. Yeah, first offence I've got is by Ryan Atkins. I don't think there's anything wrong with the tackle. Yeah, we agree. Yeah.
There we go.
Sorry.
That's the reason. The arm around the neck from Ryan Atkins, which provoked matters, and the reason why the referee is going to give a penalty here to Widnes.
A bit of pressure on the neck there, isn't there? It resembled a crusher tackle slightly. And certainly this may well go on report.
We don't want any more of that. You've got to let us deal with the situation. Yeah, the penalty goes to Widnes. The penalty is yours.
So is he allowed to punch me?
No, but you're both contributing to that. All right.
There's the explanation. Not quite sure Ryan Atkins is entirely convinced that he's been dealt with fairly, but there we go. Here comes a chance now for Jack Buchanan to lay a platform for Widnes.
Wait.
White's the man at dummy half. Brown just to his left. He's going to switch it back to Mellor. Mellor's looking for the short ball, which almost has Christine punching a hole in that Warrington defence, but down he goes. White picks up again. They're very close here. White getting even closer, but not close enough. But they still have tackles in the bag. Mellor to Brown. Brown again going back against the grain of that defence, but not finding it wanting. 2 tackles to go. Here's Mellor. Evans came out really quickly. Really read the play well. Momentum lost a little. Mellor tries to inject it back again with a kick high. Dean's gone up there. Penny's caught it on the fall. It'll be a tap back on the 20. Well defended Warrington.
2 fantastic pieces of defence there. First of all, Rhys Evans reading the play and cutting it down before it had got started, and secondly Kevin Penny claiming that high kick in his own in goal, and now the Wolves are really ratcheting it up.
Oh, great tackle.
Penny's lost it in the collision, and Widnes have it back.
That's a great tackle by Cahill. Good play the ball. Tempo of the game went up, but what a hit that is. Dislodged the ball when Warrington were on attack.
Go, Ben. Go.
Yeah, it was a great tackle. He came in with the good shoulder hit underneath the ball, jarred the ball free. The reward for a tremendous piece of defence was an error.
Here's Brown, inside ball again for Buchanan, who's chopped down at the knees by that Warrington defence. But they're being posed a few problems here. They're being asked a few questions. Cahill, the latest to be stopped. Now Brown on this right-hand side. Back inside for Chris Dean. Well, they're being stifled at the moment. Lloyd White waits, spins it out to Brown. What does he do? Back to Mellor. Poor pass, chipped on by Mellor, knocked on, and Warrington have it again. And again, not enough questions asked in the right way.
I thought Brown could have shown and gone then. I think they'd gone away, they ignored him. I think that the gap opened up for him.
Yeah, I agree with you, Jonathan. It was on the inside, wasn't it? He just needs to look to the outside, prop off his right foot and go against the grain.
You see it so many times. He's such a great tactician, reads the game exceptionally well. On that occasion, he should have shown, stepped and gone. There was a gap on the inside shoulder for him.
Here's Matty Russell, one-time Wigan player back in the day before he switched to Australia and then signing back here for Warrington. Ratchford, never far away from the central action is Benny Westwood, with 5 gone, and here comes the last, and Gidley will just hammer it downfield. Safely pouched. Good take in the end by Rhys Hanbury.
They're doing that part of the game very well though, Warrington, aren't they? The kicking heights with plenty of hang time, trying to get the chasers up there to restrict this dangerous Widnes back 3.
It's Corey Thompson making the yards on that occasion, and it's the other winger, Patrick Arban, trying to do something similar but slipping in the process. And he's knocked on. Well, that all went horribly wrong, didn't it, from Patrick Arban, from start to finish?
Well, he's, trying to help the forwards, give him a break. He loses his foot then. You've just got to, place it, keep control of it.
Yeah, I agree with you, Jonathan, because when it is conditions like this, when it's greasy, you have to be extra careful with the play of the ball, because if you're not, what Mr. Harvan has demonstrated may well happen.
Heads in! Heads in! Come on, Jack. Ball in. Out.
Here's Evans. Rhys Evans.
One, boom.
Ratchford, the man at dummy half. Hill is going to canter forward again with purpose.
Head for the 10.
Darryl Clark is just trying to organise things here. Back it comes to Gidley. Westerman.
Surrender! Down 3, hold wide.
Ashton Sims not playing today because he's suspended. He'd love to be out there, of course, and he'll be hoping his side can carry them through to a semi-final. A forward pass, though, to Kevin Penny at the very end of that. And Widnes get a bit of relief here.
Yeah, the skills have just been off, haven't they, from both teams at the minute. There's just been a slight issue with the timing. And then again, it is forward.
Yeah, it's not done as as sharp as you usually see off these two sides. They're a little bit lethargic. Yeah, I just think it's the conditions are a lot worse than it looks on the screen. It is very, very damp. The conditions are a little bit difficult.
Okay, ball in.
There's Miller with the feed. It's Bridge who's standing and waiting here and runs it forward. And Robbie Hunter-Paul on the sidelines. What are you saying?
Well, I've got to reiterate what everyone else is saying up top, really. Warrington are the masters of their own destruction at this point in time. Every time they put a set together, we've got 3 or 4 plays on the bounce, start to fracture Widnes' line. They run foul of giving the ball over too easily to Widnes. Also, the ill discipline is allowing Widnes to get penalties and get back into their own half. You do that too much, you're going to lose a lot of energy in your opening 20 minutes of the game.
Here's Brown. Spins away to Mellor, who's looking for that early kick. It's not a 40-20 because he was very nearly at the halfway line, and also it's not going out of play, so that's the other reason why it's not a 40-20. Picked up by Ratchford and run back, and the contact is pretty muscular, a little over-muscular from the Warrington fans' point of view. Down beneath us, Atkins trying to straighten things up. Here's Ratchford, out and away.
And that's one thing Warrington do really well. They really pick up the ball from dummy half, go quickly. He's gone for a 40-20 there, Sando.
Yep, he was right on the line, wasn't he? But the bounce, I don't think he's going to be kind. It's not. And Arvan can bring it back.
I think with these conditions, if you're kicking for the 40-20 or in general, you've got to zip it along the ground. You can't put the height on it because the dampness is just going to, make it bounce higher. You've got to zip it low and hard with it skims across the top.
Here's Cahill for Widnes. Just that one try so far. If you are joining us late, Jack Hughes scoring for Warrington very early in the piece. Houston.
Move! Come on!
It's back with Brown. Here's McGrath Luluai.
5! Move, Chris, all the way!
6th tackle is the next. So Brown will put it high. End over end and spinning, but Ratchford is very clear favourite to take that safely, and does. And he's looking for an early pass for Penny. And he's got nowhere to go.
They've got to finish the set a little bit better.
He's lost it.
That's a bonus. That is a bonus for Widnes.
It's often ain't a bad tactic, that. Just try and play field position, try and force the error. And that's exactly what's happened. Tackled one as Widnes Warrington returning the ball, and it's just a straightforward drop in the wrestle there by Kevin Penny.
10 metres.
Widnes have made a change, by the way. Gil Dudson has come onto the field. Jack Buchanan having gone off. They did it just before the scrum. They're not allowed to make the interchanges at the scrum, of course, but they did it just beforehand. And here he comes with his first touch. Gil Dudson with a shuddering charge forward. Widnes in decent position here. White out of dummy half. Mellor to Hanbury, who tries to cut back, but there's just a curtain of blue waiting for him, but that's a good offload. Mellor with a dodge and a weave.
2, move bang, go line.
Here's White. Brown was standing wide left, but White's trying to get himself over. Warrington too wise for that ploy. And it's a very slow play the ball here. Westwood's getting himself entangled there. Mellor throws it out to Brown. Brown with the ball back inside to Hanbury. Hanbury's running back to whence it came. They're waiting for him. They're running out of tackles and they're running out of options here, Widnes, at the moment. Brown with a little grubber kick. It comes off the boot of Atkins, but that doesn't matter because he collected himself. And then as he dropped it, well, the referee stopped the clock, but I think he might have got a head clash.
Yeah, he's took a knock, I think, while he's on the ground.
Well, he's caught it safely enough, hasn't he?
I think he just cops a knee in the back of the head as he's going down.
He plays at the ball there, doesn't he, with his foot, which takes the sting out of it. Looks to reclaim it. Oh, it's totally accidental, isn't it? But he's copped the left knee there off Heb Cahill.
Yeah. I think Warrington are closing down Brown very, very quickly.
Yes, they are.
He is the option that Widnes will look for near the try line, so they're just closing him down. They're staying on him. Mellor will have to help him out, I think.
And this is going to be head and feet for Widnes here, isn't it?
Made contact with the knee to the head. In my opinion, it's accidental, but it's still a penalty.
Oh, he's given a penalty.
Okay.
He's given
The
a
incident will
penalty.
go on report.
Why is if it's accidental? Why is it a penalty and why is it going on report?
I think it's because it's contact with the head,
Yeah.
but I can't understand the report job
It's a
whatsoever.
penalty, yeah.
See that, but the referee says
Sorry, Chris, I
accidental.
was too busy talking then. Sorry. Yes, it's a bit better now.
Well, that is a scrum for Warrington.
Well, he's on his knees.
Yeah, they've looked after him pretty well, haven't they? The physio, the doctors, as they do. The protocol in rugby league at the minute is to ensure that any head knocks are really looked after, they're assessed, and if necessary removed from the field of play. But
That's one thing that's dramatically improved.
Yes.
It's fantastic. You know, I remember we played when the physio or no one had a bang on the head and said, you know, check my concussion. I said, when's my sister's birthday? I didn't know he had a sister for a start, so...
Well, the way it works now, for those watching on who aren't clear, he'll go off and he's got 15 minutes, hasn't he, to have the full assessment now, Ryan Atkins. And if the doctors on the sideline think he's OK, he can come back. If not, it counts as an interchange.
that's correct.
And it takes all the decision-making away from the player, because every player thinks he can stay on. And now that decision is taken out of his hands, you're off and he's checked.
And it's Ryan Bailey who's coming onto the field. He's got a bit of history, hasn't he, in the Ladbrokes Challenge Cup with Leeds. Only once as a winner, though.
Okay, line, guys.
So it looks like Benny Westwood will be out in the centres, or either in the second row and Curry in the centres.
Well, that's Curry with the early drive. Westwood standing at left centre at the moment. Clark stands and waits. Widnes having to get their mojo back here to ensure that they restrict Warrington. It's a pick-up by Matty Russell and a scamper by him. And he's still going. Look at the leg drive. Look at the leg drive. Managing to get the balance against his opponents. Hill. Well, they're getting closer and closer. Less than 20 away. 3 tackles to go. Gidley picks it up again. Inside for Westerman. Throws it out to Sandow. Sandow with a kick behind the line. It will be covered, but it's in a dangerous position again. And all that Corey Thompson can do is concede the dropout underneath the sticks.
I think that's one of the biggest difference so far, is they're completing the sets and where they're turning the ball over. Warrington are building pressure, keeping Widnes in their own half or behind the try line. I know it'll be a repeat set.
Great element of composure, was it, from Sandow there? So he could slide the ball through, put it into the in goal, and a very, very good chase indeed. And that's earned his team another set of 6 tackles in order to launch an attack on the Widnes line.
He's missed a chunk of the season, hasn't he, Chris Sandow? There was a 25-minute spell. Let's just watch Bailey here. 25-minute spell against Wigan, in which he produced possibly the best half-back performance for many a year. And then he got an injury and he was missing for a month or so, but he's getting back to his best again now, isn't he?
He really is, yes. He's a will-o'-the-wisp, a maverick type of player, and he's great to watch.
It's Clark going right to Gidley, though. Gidley will take on that line.
But also this year he's playing with a lot of confidence outside Gidley, where he wasn't previously.
Westerman, Evans. There's not a lot he could do there when he got the ball, as he was surrounded. Gidley, an advance by Dudson, but it's away to Bailey. Well, they're on the last tackle here now. So where does it go? Right to left. It's going left to Sandow. Sandow with a little goal kick to the in-goal area again, but this time it's rescued by Thompson and taken back into the field of play.
Yeah, well played, Thompson. Read the play very well. He gambled on the kick, because if the pass would have gone wide, he'd been out of position. But well read.
Yeah, it's really important when your wingman does that you not only claim the kick cleanly, but you get back into the field of play so that you once again can clear your own line and buy some territory with a kick at the end of the set.
So there you see, Widnes only 42 tackles made, Warrington 49. I think if memory serves, the stats of the season are that Widnes have made more tackles than any other side in Super League this year. Some 250 odd or something like that. Here's Mellor. Slips as he kicks away. So not the end product he would have wanted. Ratchford.
Move it! Wait!
Curry. Now Penny. Seen him score an eye-catching try or two down the years, haven't we, Kevin? Penny?
Yeah, the game's certainly slower though because of the conditions, aren't there? There's a certain element to the players are tentative and they're trying to make sure of the ball before they're going into contact.
It's not got that fizz just at the moment, has it?
Ball! Move! Can you come in? Hold.
Clark at dummy half. Here's Bailey again, along to Hill, and now it's Sandow who threatens to break the line, but he's taken down by a very good tackle. That's the 5th, here comes the 6th. Gidley gets the kick away. Arvan just in the field of play when he caught it, so he has to do something about it himself, and he's doing a decent job.
Chris, with the out.
Hanbury out from dummy half.
Move! Come on, Chris, wait. Hold Jack.
This is good pressure now from Warrington. Widnes need to complete this set and get a very, very good kick in.
Good job! Wait.
Shifted across to Dudson here, and Dudson will take on Bailey. Two big fellas. Oh, and Dudson's got a very good ball away as well. That was a terrific offload by Dudson, and White was there in support, expecting it, anticipating it well. And suddenly Widnes find themselves inside the Warrington half. Mellor with a dodge and a weave. Had the support on the outside, but couldn't get the pass away to Matt Whitley. Hanbury kicks for the corner. Ratchford's got job to do, and he's going to be tackled there. Not a bad finish to the set.
That's a good set. Look where they are.
It was really good, Jonathan, because they asked questions with that Dudson offload. They played a little quicker. Lovely dab into the corner at the end to challenge Warrington to clear their own end.
Oh, and Westwood can't keep hold of that. Desperately tries to reel it back in, but he's lost it, and Widnes have the advantage play here. He had the spare play to try something, knowing that it was going to come back to Widnes' head and feet.
I think half the Warrington crowd forgot he had the free play.
By the way, Kirk Gidley is wearing the player mic today, so we'll be hearing a bit of that at half-time, what's been going on the field. I think there might be one or two blue words about what he's just seen there, and we'll hear more of that later on as well.
I think it'll be fascinating to listen to the organising that the fellow does, because he's obviously the conductor of the orchestra.
It is, isn't it? Because we've heard a lot of the forwards. I know Jamie in our studios warned it as well. We've heard the forwards, we've heard the big grunts, the big collisions, but as you say, that organisational stuff that goes on out there, the general giving out his orders.
Move, Ryan, go away, Steph.
But Widnes are creeping closer here. Here's White to Mellor. Mellor's short pass to Bridge.
Good tackle, but he did well to hang on to that Bridge because he caught that right at the defensive line.
Whitley.
Move, George. Line, Ryan.
Still 2 or 3 tackles to go, so there are still opportunities aplenty here. Mellor to Brown. Brown will put the kick to the corner there. Russell's going to take that easily, and he's not challenged, so he's able not only to bring it down, but make sure he stays in the field of play.
Again, wrong decision by Brown. No communication with his winger. That's an easy take, you know, for the Warrington winger. So I just think they look a little bit flat at the moment. Widnes, when they attack, there's no speed on their executions, which is easier for the Warrington defenders.
Well, the most dangerous of looks was been with the offload from Dudson and the broken play that came from that.
Well, talking about player mics, we've had it on Ashton Sims in games gone by, haven't we? Not today, because he's not playing, but he's on the sidelines. As Sandow knocks on, it's kicked on by Mellor. Mellor playing the football, picking it up, and touching down, has he? The referee is going to put the square in the air here and ask the question.
Zero tackle. But try. Just checking the ground, please.
Zero tackle.
He thinks he scored.
He thinks it's a try on the field. The benefit of the doubt is with Widnes, but let's hear from our video referee, Phil Bentham.
Yeah, we're just going to check the ground in, please. It's a breakaway, so the referee's behind the play. So we've got a clean pick-up. And everything there looks like a try to me. I'm happy to give the try.
Quick decision. and a gift of a try for Widnes.
Well, it's a dreadful mistake, first of all. I'm not sure if Sando thinks it's a forward pass and the referee's going to blow up, so he gives up on it, and Mellors, quick as a flash, gets his foot to it, and then scores a very well finished try because difficult ground. Just watch, it's a pass, as if it's like, oh, it's forward, he lets it go through his hands, and that's a very, very good finish because difficult, he could have snatched at it. That's a very good finish, but an easy try for him. Handed on a plate.
Just reward Jonathan for camping down, for playing field position rugby, camping in the Warrington 20.
So Hanbury with a chance to level things up right in front of the sticks, and he does as expected. It's 6 points apiece.
I thought that this was always going to be a close game, you know, the fierce local derby rivalry. Just watch, this is the pass. King just throws a pass. I'm not sure what Sando was thinking was happening then. He shot it like a flash.
But that's great skill, isn't
Great
it?
skill.
Greasy conditions to toe poke it, then pick it up without breaking stride to score. Great skill from Mellor.
But I always thought if Widnes came and got the defence right, this was going to be a real test for both sides. And apart from the Hughes try, they are fronted up and they're in it. They're in this game big time.
Well, all that meaning, all that local rivalry, Challenge Cup semi-final at stake as well. And we've got a cup tie on our hands now, 6 points apiece.
Hold!
Warrington bench looks calm and collected. Oh, it's another offload. Dudson again, he's having an impact since he came on for the bench, Sean.
It certainly is. They just need to switch on to it as well, because they gave him great success earlier.
Jack, move!
Jeremiah out of dummy half, little scamper, and back it comes down the middle again, and Widnes making decent yardage here.
I think this is what Widnes have got to do. They've just got to make the yardage.
Kevin Brown slips away, past Sandow, passes on to Whitley. Now it's a chance for Bridge. Bridge goes for the line, great cover tackle. Coming across, Darryl Clark got there and stopped the man on the 6th. It's played out by Westwood. If Widnes get it back, it's another 6. It is another 6. Now it's Whitley. Whitley gets away again. Whitley's underneath the sticks to score. And in the blink of an eye, it's all gone white here. Widnes have turned this game around.
Well, again, the half break, great support. Fantastic tackle by Clark. But they kept their composure, and Whitley just picked the ball up, turned, no defence there. What a couple of minutes for Widnes Vikings.
Let's give a bit of credit to Dennis Betts as well for sending Jeremiah out there. Jeremiah's out there with Lloyd White. That created that bit of interplay between them, created the break for Bridge. And the ball's, Lloyd White puts the kick in, it's back to 1, and it really is a fractured Warrington defensive line. And Whitley just says, thank you very much, I'll go through those 2 tackles and under the post.
But also, Managafoa and Dudson have made a huge impact. They have made the yards, the half-backs have been on the front foot. It makes the attacking play easier, it makes the kicking game easier.
Right in front of the sticks. This should not be a problem for Rhys Hanbury, and isn't. And from 6-0 down, less than 3-4 minutes ago, Widnes are now 12-6 up as half-time begins to loom.
Well, they've grown into this game now, the Widnes Vikings, and I don't think one can believe his luck there. A good bit of footwork, but just a bit too easy. It was a fractured defensive line, and Warrington are known for kick pressure, playing at the ball on that last tackle. That's what they did there, and it did not pay off for them.
I think the last 10 minutes, you know, the possession is 58% and territory is 58% in Widnes' favour.
Well, that's how to play the game in these conditions, Jonathan.
It is.
Look after the ball and buy some land.
Exactly.
Well, there you go. There's the statistical proof. 58 Widnes, 42 Warrington. Possession, territory equally in Widnes' favour as well, as Houston tries to send his side in a forward motion again here. Jeremiah had of dummy half, and Dudson once more straightening things up. Jeremiah waits and then scampers. Warrington's defence being tested again here.
And playing the ball is a lot quicker with those 2 big lads as well.
One-handed pick-up by White, and gets the arm free because he wanted the offload, but he couldn't quite scoop it back to Jeremiah, who was there and waiting. Kevin Brown looking for that big patch of grass right down the middle. Ratchford's across to cover. And there's danger here because he can turn something out of nothing, can't he? But not on that occasion.
I'll tell you what, though, when you've received the ball from a kick-off, you'd be happy with that, but then Gildutson spoils what's been a really good 10 minutes for them there with a pretty simple penalty to piggyback Warrington up the field.
So penalty here that Sandow puts out of play, and we were teeing him up just before the try, so let's hear from him now. Ashton Sims, I think, is with Tanya.
Ashton, you're kicking every ball, trying to make every tackle. What do you make of this half so far?
Yeah, it's a real seesaw affair, isn't it? The game sat on a knife edge. Widnes have probably been the better team for the last 5 minutes, but it sounds simple. We need to go back to completing and getting a good kick on the end of our sets and put a bit more pressure back on them.
Is it frustrating for you to watch this one?
Real frustrating, yeah. I'm sort of willing on every play here, but you know, as I said before, it's a real tight one, and that's what a derby's all about.
Cheers, Ashton.
Cheers, thanks, Daniel.
Gidley looking for a route back down the middle. One of the wiser heads wanting to settle this ship that's been rocking now for Warrington for the last few minutes, but Ratchford threatening to scythe the way through. Clark from dummy half, here comes the last again. Gidley will kick it, not quite for the corner. A little bit of shortness on the ball, to but doubts in a Widnes mind, but Hanbury collects and manages to get back again in play.
Well, the kick defence of Widnes is pretty good, isn't it? One, they've been secure, but two, even then, when they weren't secure, they had enough numbers round the ball to defuse the situation.
Move, Ryan, 10 metres.
I think Warrington are playing as individuals at the moment. Gidley, you know, Sando.
Gidley and Evans doing a job on our van there, and it needed doing as well, didn't it? Jeremiah scampers forward. 6 minutes to the break. One tackle in this set for Widnes. Brown's just looking for distance. It hits. Was it an advancing Warrington player? Yes, it was, because the referee says back to one. He's decided it was played at.
Well, I'm with him on that, because if you advance towards the ball, you're deemed to be playing at the ball. But I don't know what Lloyd White was doing there.
But I think Lloyd White thought that it was an extra man. He was looking for the winger. The two defenders stepped in. Unfortunately, the winger had come inside and there wasn't the extra man. But he thought the short run down the side, look, he's got two defenders. He's thinking the winger's on the outside, throws it to the space. Unfortunately, he's a man short.
Matty Russell's breathing a sigh of relief there, isn't he?
I think the difference is the pace of the play of the ball. They struggled in the first 20 minutes, Widnes, and Warrington's defence were on top of them. And now they've just got that momentum, as you know, Jamie said in the studio. You get momentum in the game, you've got to make the most of it. Widnes have done that, yes.
Interesting start that, because Warrington are renowned for running out of dummy half with the speed of play, and it's Widnes who've done 18 dummy half carries to Warrington's 7.
Come on.
Here's Sandow at dummy half, away to Westerman, back inside again, and it's one of those who's on from the bench, George King, who's tackled 40 metres out. Warrington looking for a response here and needing a response. Westwood does well to play the ball quickly. Clark, Westerman, Gidley, Evans quickly away to Russell on that right-hand side, but the Widnes defence is organised enough to be over there.
Evans did exceptionally well there, take and give, good play.
Gidley again, Westerman spinning it onto Ratchford. They're going left now. Sandow inside the attempted tackle of Thompson, but enough done.
Go.
Well, Whitley was concerned there for Sandow. He's asking the referee. Sandow just wanted to play on. Here's a kick for the corner. Kevin Penny is in to score. A real sucker punch if it's given. He says try, but he's looking at the grounding again. So once again, let's hear from video referee Phil Bentham.
It's just a grounding check again, just to make sure that he's got hands on the ball and he's got them all the way to the ground. No, we need to check the kick, because every kick, just to make sure it's onside. So the ball's on the ground and then he grounds it. Okay, we'll just double check the kick. That's onside, we've no problem with that. So just the grounding to finish off to confirm it, please. So the ball hits the ground first. Penny has to get his hands on it and grinds it. Try.
There's the evidence that Warrington are back in the tie.
Yeah, smart play that as well, because the Wolves noticed that the right winger there, Corey Thompson, had come in to shut the play down on Sando, so he was out of position, and they've just picked the ball up, slid it behind what would have been the right wing man, and that's where Penny succeeded in grounding. So that's very, very clever play indeed, but it all came from that mistake there from Lloyd White, which gave the field position, and this is the cleverness here. Just slid along, and there's Penny to ground it.
That's a brilliant piece of play by King. You know, the instincts of the centre isn't the same. He hadn't dropped back. The time he thought about it, Penny had scored. Brilliant play by Warrington.
So Gidley from the touchline. I think Wolf is eager to get involved in that kick as well from that angle. Well, Gidley's kick, has he missed it? Has he missed it? It's just short.
Slapped it.
So it remains advantage Widnes, but the margin is much more slender than it was, thanks to his involvement just a few moments ago.
But just watch Corey Thompson. He wasn't sure what to do. Look at him, 22. He made the tackle on Sander. Does he go in? Does he go out? Unfortunately, there's his opposite number and scores.
But the little back play behind all of that was we saw him there playing the ball and clearly uncomfortable. Sandow is still on the field, but he's been having treatment whilst that try was being adjudged by the video referee, and he's not moving as freely as he was, is he, at the moment, Chris Sandow?
Well, he's got basically 2.5 minutes to get into the changing room where they can really assess him, so there certainly won't be interchange at this point in time. They'll just be telling him to get in the defensive line, do his defensive work. Any attacking work's a bonus if he's hobbling about.
He's going to envelope to dummy half. He's not going to leave it to Clark. Robbie Hunter-Paul, what are you saying?
Well, I've got to say that I don't think we realise how important that try was. Warrington were really struggling with their energy levels at this point during that, just before that try was scored. It was going to take some individual brilliance to break that momentum. Look what's happened now. Warrington and Nella on the front foot. It's amazing what something like that can happen.
And if somebody is to score before the break, Warrington will be favourites, you'd think, at the moment. That's a kick safely patched by Hanbury.
Whoa! We jumped! 10 metres, Ryan, wait!
What a set each here before the hooter sounds.
Yeah, you'd say so, Dave. So it'll be interesting. I think it'll be pretty conservative and low-risk stuff from Widnes.
Yeah, and a good kick. You don't want to be handing Warrington possession over anywhere in your own half.
That's a bruising run by Arvan.
Go.
Dennis Betts looks a little anxious. Mick Cassidy sitting alongside him, his former Wigan teammate. There's tackle 5. Quick play the ball by Jeremiah. So less pressure as it moves out wide. Nella looks for the corner. Again, a conservative, thoughtful kick to make sure it's as difficult as possible. They're oohing and ahhing, but there's nothing wrong with that tackle from White.
He's carrying the ball in one hand as well, Ratchford, when he's returning it. You've got to go for the ball. If you're a coach or on the coaching staff, you've got to say you attack that ball carrying arm when he's running it back.
Wait. Go 3.
Ratchford collects. Westwood romping forward again. Benny Westwood.
Go.
He's been here 14 years now, hasn't he, Benny Westwood? Good hands away to Gidley. Gidley looking for some width for Sandow. Sandow skipping away and still going, and then loses it in the tackle from Houston. The referee says it was knocked on, so it'll be Warrington's head and feet. They'll rush to the scrum here to pack it down, so the referee stops the clock. Now he stops the clock.
I think it's a forward pass from Sandow.
I agree with you totally. It's this one-handed offload here.
That's a forward pass.
It certainly is. So they've rolled the look there a bit, and they get the knock on there from
now it's interesting here because Chris Sandow packed down as hooker here.
That's a forward pass.
They don't want him at hooker. But the rules are that he's got to go back and pack down as hooker, isn't he?
No, not in our game, David.
No, going back to that forward pass. The referee was right next door to it. I can't believe how he missed that pass. In a game as tight as this, that's crucial.
Well, with 20 seconds, Jonathan, would you just take it in and take a 1 point just to
There's two
get
options
something
here.
from this?
Two options here. I'd take it in and take the 1 point, or I would take it to the line and put a grubber through. We don't see enough of it in this occasion. That's all he's going to do, is take the ball, Joe Westerman, tell Ratchford, and he's on.
Here it goes, the kick. It's Curry and Sandow are chasing this. Widnes are just happy to get it behind the net ball line because they will waste the 7 or 8 seconds that are left here before the dropout needs to be taken and the hooter will sound.
I think Jonathan Davis playing number 11 today.
So there you have it. Decent cup tie. Warrington 10, Widnes 12. Plenty to come in the second half, and I think all neutrals hoping plenty to come from him in the second half as well.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how, if he's limping badly, he's not running as comfortably as we used to see him. So a big decision to see if he's going to come on second half. But yeah, very, very good first half of rugby. Thoroughly enjoyed it. I think defences were clearly on top on both sides.
Well, let's hear from Chris Sandow right now. He's with Tanya Arnold.
Chris, first things first, you look like you're a little bit uncomfortable. You're carrying a knock there?
Yeah, we just couldn't hold the ball here in the first half, you know. These guys turned us with their kicking game, you know, so hopefully we can do that to them in the second half.
You're going to be back out for the second half? You're going to be okay?
Definitely.
You just need to sharpen things up, is that the feeling?
Yeah, you know, I think we're playing in quite a lot, but I think we're going to settle down in the second half and start playing some football.
Cheers for your time. Cheers, Chris. Let's bring in Kevin Brown. Kevin, happy with that half?
Oh yeah, happy with parts of it. Obviously we came out on the scoreboard, but plenty to work on, you know. Errors with the ball and that, we fixed that up, we'll go a good way of winning.
Is that the feeling, if you can hang on to the ball, you can get over the line in this?
Yeah, we spoke about completing well and kicking long, and we didn't do that early on. I kicked one out on the full and we dropped a few balls, but when we got into the ground, we started looking good.
Cheers, Chris. Thank you.
Well, here are the stats from that first half. Look at that, dead level on territory possession, not a lot in it either. As John Keir was saying in commentary, maybe the fact that Widnes have made 19 runs to just Warrington's 11 from dummy halves is a little bit of a surprise, and we'll come to the error stats in just a moment. 11 in total in that game. They're not on that graphic, but 6 from Widnes and 5 from Warrington. And when we come to the analysis, which we'll do in a minute, have the errors caused a lot of the points that have been scored for you?
I think so, and I think to start with, the errors from Widnes were caused by Warrington's aggressive defence. They were on top of Mellor, they were on top of Brown and not allowing them any time. But then as the Warrington Wolves started to make errors, when you make errors you can drop off your aggressive defence, and Widnes came back into the game.
Widnes will be very happy they came back into it, because for that first 15-20 minutes it didn't look like they were going to.
Well, some of these big games and big stake games revolve around the kicking game and how well you kick the ball. Widnes were kicking the ball appallingly and got some luck. As Jamie's pointed out, it forced a couple of errors and a couple of back-to-back sets, which gave them some respite from the fact that Warrington weren't playing as well. Coupled with that, a couple of errors from the Warrington team gave them field position and got them back into the game.
Brian mentioned it there, John. Kevin Brown mentioned it in his half-time interview with Tanya. The kicking was a problem, and he mentioned he kicked the early one out on the full.
Yeah, well, obviously I thought Warrington started really brightly. One issue that Widnes did have at the start of the game was the kicking game. A kick straight out from Kevin Brown, he sliced that, that's a complete miss kick, under no real pressure, but off the back of that Gidley smart play, turning the play back on the inside. Hep Cale from Widnes overworks, but Jack Hughes, look, I'm a massive fan of Jack Hughes, great strength and speed to score this try. We show Gidley smart play in wet conditions, and this was all part of Warrington's bright start. Warrington's bright start came from the defence, and it resulted in, not this try, but a period of about 25 minutes of pressure. Ultimately, what caused an end to that were errors from the Warrington team.
When you say Cahill overworked, what does that mean? Because it also looked a little bit like he slipped, and a few of them have slipped.
When you get your body position like Hep Cahill there, he's working really hard, pushing towards the sideline. To stop and change direction is difficult, and he worked that hard, it made his footing almost unstable, and he slipped, and that's the reason he slipped.
Gidley's highlighted that in the damp, slippy conditions. He's got this overworking Hep Cahill who's really racing across the line, and anything back against that grain, as Jack Hughes did with the drop-off type of play, causes a lot of problems for the defenders.
They struggled, didn't they, with fluency, did Widnes? This is something you've all been looking at in that first half.
I think in big games you need to nail your fluency, which means everyone knows what they're doing. You can see this play here, John.
Yeah, Jack Hughes puts Kevin Brown under all sorts of pressure. Jamie nailed it. I thought Warrington put the Widnes team under loads of pressure early doors. We see Mellor and Hanbury and timing. I just thought it was a bit off. Widnes weren't quite behind the ball, but again, great defence from Warrington, very aggressive. And off the back of that here, you know, Mellor probably would nail this. Great take from Penny, and that was part of the poor kicking game for you know, the Warrington Widnes side.
Widnes were ineffective for the first 20 minutes, and then I got back into the game off the back of what we said, Warrington making errors and not being able to defend in that kind of energetic, aggressive way.
Well, I think and of course, one of the Warrington errors led to the Mellor try as well, which got Widnes back into it.
Yeah, so it's a Sandow coming out of yardage. We spoke about being a support player. Probably didn't run a support line there, didn't want the ball. Mellor, we spoke about him being instinctive. Now that's instinctive attacking play. When everybody else waited and paused, Mellor moved forward, kicked the ball. Not only kicked, it's a difficult skill that to kick and regather. Great try from Mellor, and that just changed things. But it hinged, the first half hinged on errors from Warrington. They gifted Widnes field position. Widnes didn't earn it, I don't think. I think Warrington gifted it to them, and boy did they take it.
Would you say a bigger picture before we move on to the other two tries, that Widnes's fluency was caused by the way lack of fluency was caused by the way Warrington were playing, and yet Warrington were the masters of their own downfall?
Well, in a way, because we see there that Mellor was in a position right in the face of Sandow, so he's turned tables a little bit there. They've learned as the game progressed. We're going to put this team, their passing game, Warrington under pressure, so with people in their face and under pressure, they came up with a couple of errors. They also got lucky on a couple of kicks. Kevin Brown did a couple of grubbers that they got back for 6 more players, which took a little bit of juice out of the Warrington team. So it was hung in a balance, and Warrington stopped doing the things that they were doing because of what came about on the back of Brown ricochet.
I think one of the reasons for that is we spoke about the weather before the game, and when you're a player you talk about line speed, because you know the ball's a little bit difficult to catch, and you can see there when there's been line speed, that's when the ball's been dropped, that's when players' eyes have been taken off the ball.
Speaking of taking your eyes off the ball, did Warrington switch off after Darryl Clark's amazing tackle that eventually led to Whitley going over?
Well, yeah, I think this try summed up a bit of what changed for Widnes. Heremai was brought on. I think he made a big difference running out of dummy half. Warrington were fractured around the ruck, big spaces, and this is when dummy halves thrive. Great skill, and this is Kevin Brown at his best. Passing the ball, you'd bet your life 2-on-1 with a fullback. Great cover tackle. What speed, but off the back of that, Lloyd White attempts to put the kick in. Widnes come around with the ball. And what a fantastic piece of, well, instinctive attacking play, but poor defence through the middle. That's bad defence.
That's not defence of a knockout game, is it? That's not desperation defence thinking, we've got to stop a try
in the middle there.
Yeah, exactly.
Kevin Penny, the winger, who's come across to try and make a cover tackle, has been found out in the middle on the back of Whitley getting the ricocheted kick.
But again, it came from that turn in momentum, that Widnes grew in confidence. Warrington made a few errors, and in these conditions the energy battle on the field's really important. Warrington mastered that for 20 minutes, and then they really fell to bits in terms of the energy battle. That being said, as we'll see, you know, they had something to say at the end of the half.
Is that defence, by the way? You know, you said it's not a defence of a knockout game. Is that defence of a sort of mid-season Super League game, which is what you spoke about right at the start of the whole show? That sometimes Warrington can switch off in a game that doesn't have a great deal on it.
I would agree. If you said to those players involved in and around the ball, then said, if you make that tackle, you've got a chance of going to Wembley. Didn't make that tackle, but say it's down to 2 points in Super League, perhaps not so much effort. I totally agree with that.
And yeah, Warrington are back in it thanks to the Penny try at the end.
I thought it was unbelievable vision. The winger Corey Thompson's coming to make a couple of tackles, so he's out the way. I think Runciman finds himself on the wing, and Penny just holds his chalk, holds the width of the sideline, and it's a smart kick, you have to say, for a finish, an opportunist finish.
George King, front rower off the bench, putting a kick in down the short side. Now, that's not something you'd see Jamie Peacock doing, you know, if we roll back maybe 2, 3 years, maybe 10 years.
I'm the drop goal man, you know that. The drop goal man.
And the sidestep man, let's not forget the sidesteps as well.
That try did come off the back of Lloyd White, made a mistake. It gifted, you know, the possession, and Penny scored a try at the end there. Again, errors have been so important in this first half.
Massively important. Pick up what you said. I think both teams are defending pretty well. At times, for the first 20 minutes, Warrington were very dominant with kick pressure, so it enabled Brown to struggle and Mellor to struggle with their kicks. It got lucky. They got a couple of errors out of Warrington because of their defensive line speed, and they then put some pressure on the Warrington kick and got the ball back in the right parts of the field. So I think the defences are okay.
Looking forward to a very, very good second half here. But during the last round, you may remember, we told you about this Songs of Praise competition, to put it together a fans choir to sing Abide With Me at the Challenge Cup final. So they're looking for a representative from 32 clubs, and this week it was the judging section of the competition. A bit, well, nothing like X Factor.
We asked for a super fan. We asked for somebody who'd gone beyond the call of duty to help and support their team.
That's the key line, isn't it? That I've coached over 1,000 boys and girls.
Yeah. Well, I think she's doing a lot of work off the field.
He is a super fan, lifetime supporter.
You need to look a little bit further. Something original, something different.
I think it would mean more to Joan.
Can't they both do it? We're already at loggerheads.
I've actually liked both of them as well.
I think the 13-year-old is still doing his best for it, and when you look at a choir, surely they want to see a bit of a mix.
Right, we just have to ring them now.
And the winner for the Warrington Wolves is with me. It's Joan Ayres. Joan, what was your reaction when you got the phone call to say you will be singing at Wembley?
I didn't believe it. I didn't even know I'd actually been nominated, to be truthful. A friend of mine had sent me the link for it, but I'm in the middle of house renovations, so I just pushed it to one side thinking, oh, he's just banter, and I never took anything of it. And then I got a phone call on Tuesday to say I'd actually been successful. And
are you a good singer?
No. I'm going to be the one that will empty Wembley, believe me.
We look forward to listening to you. Enjoy the day, Joan.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. I'm eternally grateful.
And that is what it's all about, the opportunity rather than the singing. Speaking of noises, Kurt Gidley's been wearing the player mic during that first half. This is what it's picked up.
Those people weren't in the north.
On! Go, Billy! Chrissy! I'll give the ball back, you get two. Get it in! Here, easy! Let's go, easy! Push! Push, set! Help him, Des! Easy! Over Hairston! Get the ground! Easy! Lower the line! Easy! Lower the line! Hey! Stand in the arm wrestle! Put in the arm wrestle! Hold there! Yes! Over! Yours! Mine! Ref, I'm with you! Tell me when! No one at the back! Let's go, guys.
Welcome back.
There is a real difference, actually, between when forwards wear the mic and when the backs wear the mic. I mean, I never made it in commentary, but there is in all
Yeah, it is. And I think you can see there he's pivotal to the defence on that right edge there. I think if he went missing, they'd struggle a lot. I think he's been key vocal, organising people in and around. That's what you expect from senior players.
Just quickly, when he says to the ref, tell me when, for those that just dip in and out of our game, what's he saying there?
Do you want the real reason?
Yeah.
Is get the referee on side, tell him well,
grease the wheels.
Get favour with the referee, talk to him and really want him to, work with you. That's it.
Who'd have thought John Wilkin would say that? Right, let's go back to our commentary team of John Keira, Jonathan Davis and Dave Woods.
Well, Widnes just coming out for the second half. Warrington have been out for a good 5 or 6 minutes, haven't they? They've been going through a warm-up on the sidelines before they start this second half. We see this, don't we, every now and again? Teams get different ideas about what to do, how to restart second halves. That seems like a lot of common sense warming up ahead of the second half.
It'll be interesting to see what Super League refs do when the referee is St Helens now, and John Wilkins telling them he's on side with them, aren't they?
Well, here's tonight's referee, James Child, Dennis Betts, down on the sidelines.
No, it's still very
barking out 1 or 2 last-minute orders before he goes up and takes his place in the stand. It's a game in the balance here. 12 points to 10 in Widnes' favour.
I think you're listening to Gidley just saying stay in the arm wrestle, stay in the arm wrestle, and that's what both sides have got to do. You know, and then when the opportunity comes, they've just got to try and create something and and get the points on the board. But it's it's all to play for this half, and I feel there's a lot more to come from Warrington attacking wise. But Widnes have just got to, as I said before, hang on in there, take their chances.
Well, it's not meant to be easy, is it, Jonathan, to get to a semi-final of a Challenge Cup?
The Ladbrokes Challenge Cup has one occupant already of the four. Wakefield already through, having beaten Huddersfield last night. It's nip and tuck, one or two of these. And tomorrow, of course, we have got Hull against Catalan early on, and then the big event on the BBC, 5:15 on air at BBC Two tomorrow. It's Wigan against Castleford. So it's a very decent quarter-final lineup. Heremaya's at dummy half here for Widnes, and Brown will shift it on again, and Mella puts boots to ball. Ratchford, comfortable, taking it off the bounce, but it's a very organised chase from Widnes, and Warrington start from here.
Yeah, again, cutting mistakes. So we saw that the tries came from mistakes, giving them field position.
Clark. Little dummy shown. Well, the fans have got themselves ramped up in this second half, and they're wound up a little more here, because right in front of the Warrington supporters, Patrick Arvan.
Silly.
Misdemeanour.
I cannot understand what's going through that man's head in that last tackle, because it was so obvious.
He's made the tackle, he's got the arms on the throat, is bad, and then got the elbow.
Every man and his dog could see that, Jonathan, couldn't they?
Touch judge, hasn't been on yet, so he comes on, shows that he's on television tonight.
Patrick Alban has just held up an arm of apology to his teammates there, hasn't he? Gidley's going to slow things down by fastening his bootlaces before he just puts this out of play.
Right, guys. On the foot.
So Clark will get things going again. Sandow seemingly recovered from that injury he had in the first half. Ratchford's pass to that left-hand side, and Curry.
He's not moving smoothly, or he's not. Sandow.
You're right, he was just hobbling back into position there, wasn't he? Benny Westwood.
Robbie Savage went up, and they scored at the end of the day.
What, when England scored? He just went very, very, very quiet.
We can hear them, boys.
I mean,
Clark
to be fair
is a man at dummy half.
We can hear
Gidley, Ratchford, quick hands, Evans. And Arvan is across to make the tackle.
That was a good read, though, by Arvan.
Gidley again, into the path of George King, but he's chopped down just short. Westwood picks up and goes left. Sandow dodging back to the middle, and then puts a bit of pace on, but the Widnes line was waiting for him. He's held up, and it's going to be a handover back to Widnes.
Good defence.
So let's hear the half-time news from Tanya Arnold.
Well, first up, Dave, some slightly worrying news for Ryan Atkins. They called for an ambulance to take him to hospital because the doctor wasn't happy with his condition. He, of course, went off with a head injury. Tony Smith has told his side to be more patient, stay nice and calm, cut down on the errors, up the tempo and tighten up the defence. As for Dennis Betts, he says we've got to start the second half better, complete our sets. He says we haven't taken advantage of the chances we created. More support is needed in the ruck so we can lead from dummy half.
Spun away to Brown, and Brown's going to go for a 40-20 attempt here. Looking for this touchline on the near side, but the bounce is not kind to him. It's still a very decent kick, because it's going to be picked up by Matty Russell, and he's got work to do to bring it away, and they start there.
I think they've shown their hand a little bit, Widnes. They've kicked early on every set. Mella, and then Brown.
They're playing field position, Jonathan, and going to look to force the error.
They are.
Clark, the man at dummy half, and goes left again to Curry, and Curry trying to quicken things up. Clark again, off he goes. Dummy show, not bought. Widnes pull him down just inside their own half. Ratchford having a look around, goes left. Westerman to Westwood, and Westwood galloping. Curry on the 6 here. Ratchford. Evans is in the hunt. Arban is the main man for Widnes on that occasion and tries to step around and does beat the initial attempted tackle from Russell. But there are more in blue waiting.
He did very well there, Arvani. Diffused the situation. Got his team going forward, but a spill there from Runciman. Really basic. And again, Jonathan, as we said in the first half, when you're playing the ball in these conditions, you must be very careful. There was Havan, but that's absolutely sloppy, and it's given Warrington a great opportunity.
Yeah, a couple of errors by Widnes. I think that, Ben Curry now out in the centre, he could be a huge threat. He is playing exceptionally well this year. So that'll be a difficult, he's a lot bigger, than his opposite number. Chris Bridge there.
Westerman. Arm stretch from Sandow, who felt that there was a penalty in that, but none given, and King will take it on again, George King. Nibbling inside the 20-metre mark, Sandow. Westwood. Quickly played, and Clark is up there, and Clark gets a pass away, and Curry will crash over in the corner. The referee is not sure.
I've got
no try.
Want to check if he loses it.
Thinks he's lost it. He thinks he's lost it. Well, has he? Let's have a look at the video evidence through the eyes of our video referee here tonight, Phil Bentham.
Another one to check the grounding, please. She's got a grip on it there. It looks short. Obviously can't tell from that angle. Need to find proof that he scored. There's a hand in there. He's still got the ball. And does he keep a grip on it and drag it forward? We need another look at it, please. So, does he maintain his grip on it, or does the ball come away from his hand? I can't 100% see whether or not he keeps the grip on the ball. Have we any other angles at all, please? Thank you. So, we've just got this angle. We've got no try on the field. So the referee's opinion is that it was lost. And there, you would have to say, with the ball around his thighs, that he's lost the ball. Can you show that in normal speed, please, as well? Just to see if it gives us a different view of it. No, every suggestion is that he's dropped the ball. I'm going with the on-field decision of no try. It's a knock-on, and it'll be a scrum.
No try, no try. Well, I think that's the right decision, wasn't it? Under the way the rules work at the moment, well, even I don't think it was a try anyway, but under the way the rules work at the moment, he had to give no try, didn't he?
Well, we decided that a kick had to go. So,
I thought he'd lost possession.
So it remains. Advantage Widnes, 2 points. 35 minutes to settle this cup tie. They've got some work to do here, though, Widnes, deep inside their own half.
Yeah, Warrington have really come out with an intent and a purpose, haven't they, this second half? But credit to Widnes up to now. They've withstood that storm, and that's
that helps.
made it even better for them.
That helps. Cheap penalties on nights like this.
Ball still, wasn't it, Joe Westerman?
Kevin Brown has found touch, has he?
Yes.
Matty Russell was just interested there, wasn't he? I think he Felt he might have got a hand on it, but it did clear him. And Houston now will drive it forward, and Widnes, with their first tackle, find themselves inside the Warrington half. Jeremiah's the man at dummy half. Brown to his right. It's the new fella, Buchanan. Fresh from the West Tigers in Australia. Cahill gets a good offload. Jeremiah, and now Mellor will spin, and Mellor continues to tease this Warrington defence until the big fella, Hill, climbs all over him, makes the tackle, 10 out, but Jeremiah's off again here, quickly. They're trying to punch a hole in this resolute Warrington defence, but all they've done is drop the ball, and Warrington get it back again.
I think if you're the Widnes tackle, you've got to run at Sando. You know, he's carrying at ankle. But great defence on both sides. There was one desperate tackle there by the shorts.
Great urgency there and forced the header. It was good play from Cahill initially with that footwork and offload, and then Jeremiah in support, Mellor then in support, and he's simply looking for more Warrington players to beat there. But that is where the danger is when around the ruck area with the offload in broken field, and they're really causing some problems at Widnes when they use that tactic of play.
Concerns again.
Heads around. Stay in tight, Joe.
Key player down injured.
I'll tell you what, with Sando carrying one and him struggling.
Well, they are the rock and roll of Warrington, aren't they? Gidley very much the rock. Sandow the roll, the half-back partnership. But he's not looking healthy at all, Kurt Gidley. Widnes will sense an opportunity here tonight. Clark's a dummy half. Sandow half hobble, Gidley full hobble. Clark, nothing wrong with him, but he's well matched and well met, and down he goes. Hughes got us all going in the first half with his early try. Put down easily enough. Ratchford. Sandow tries to dribble one through, but it doesn't come off, and between them, Widnes have the ball back again. Houston is the man who drops on it.
Very good pressure by the Widnes Vikings there. Made it a real difficult last tackle play for Sandow.
And no option because Gidley was, limping badly as well.
Out they come to try and make their mark, but Houston waiting on this left-hand side. Here's Brown. Still going down the middle. Cahill, good offload. But were they ready? Not quite. Picked up though by Hanbury. Hanbury runs it back again, and they clutch a hold and just about stifle his ambitions. But Widnes rolling on again now. Kevin Brown with a miss-out pass on that left-hand side. And I think it was overrun, wasn't it, by Patrick Arban. That is such a typical Kevin Brown pass, but it didn't quite connect this time.
It is, which is why it's surprising that Harvan really overran him, because it would have been stock plays. A long pass, and he would have been in the clear had he held his depth.
Why has he got to overrun it?
Yep.
Why is he wing? Why you're out of the game if you're in front of the ball? You could see that Kevin Brown's brain just switched on when the quick play of the ball. He came running across. He saw the overlap and the pass way before any other player. Arvan just had to hold his run, and he was in.
Opportunity knocks, but the Warrington door remains shut. But they have to get back into this. Westwood, I think he's the man who's going off, but interestingly, Brad Dwyer is coming on for the first time tonight. Now that adds a little bit of buzz from dummy half, doesn't it, for Warrington here?
Well, Tony Smith once said that he plays the game in fast forward, doesn't he? So let's see if that's what happens at dummy half.
I wonder if he's fully fit, because he was getting special attention from John Clark before the game, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was.
So maybe that's why it's a delayed entry for him.
He was getting stretched.
Well, they've done two very quick plays out of dummy half with Clark and Dwyer out there.
Both on the field. Gidley's still on there, by the way. Update, he looks to be running a little easier than he was. Anxious moments. A push and a barge. Dwyer's in there at dummy half again. Wants it played quickly. Sandow's the man to his right. This is Hill. Hill with a step, but they're stifling him as well. Just suffocating him with a two-man tackle. Down he goes. 5 is the tackle count. Next is the last. They're baying for a penalty, not given. Gidley chiming in. Hughes can't get the ball away. Widnes do a terrific job there. Really good job. And they'll get the ball back on the handover.
They're exerting pressure though, aren't they, Warrington Wolves? But all credit to the online defence there of the Widnes Vikings. Really well organised, really urgent and really committed.
Patrick Alvan owes his side a play or two here tonight, doesn't he? You know, it'd be typical of a Challenge Cup tie that he comes up with a winning try at some point. Here he is trying to make a dent from deep.
Yeah, good run. Gives his forwards a break.
Jeremiah looking back to the middle of Cahill.
I think he's been good tonight, Cahill.
Ex-Melbourne man. Arrived over here in Wales, didn't he, with the Celtic Crusaders. At the beginning of his British Super League career. Hits a kick high from Mellor, but the pressure on him meant that that's the result. Not a very good kick. And it's still the 6th tackle. And Warrington will get it back there. Great kick pressure from Jordan Cox.
Yeah, did a really good job, did the big prop forward.
Yeah, really good pressure there.
Penny, quick in there, eager. Sensing there's opportunities here for him.
There's an urgency now in the Warrington play.
Russell grabbed up by Houston.
Yes, good marker work.
And then a penalty for the second man in. The tackle had been done, the job had been done, and Lloyd White decides to get involved as well. Flop.
Well, that was such good work from Houston, wasn't it? He got out there from marker, chopped the dummy half runner down, then Lloyd White just spoiled it by flopping.
It's just all instinct, and you've just got to fight your instincts and stand off. There we are.
I'm getting the comments from your players.
The referee just having a chat with the Warrington skipper Chris Hill. I think he's just asking for his side to pipe down a little, getting too much chat from his players.
That's a good kick.
What a chance here for Warrington. 6 tackles to have a real go, and Jordan Cox, who was very much involved in setting up this position. Now Clark will eventually put on his back. It's legal. Dwyer, penalty again, more messing about, and this time it is Houston.
Will they go for 2 to even it up?
You've got to sort it out, otherwise you know where they'll end up.
Well, the debate no doubt will be going on, but I think they're going to go for the tap. 1 or 2 arms are pointing at the sticks, and eventually the decision is taken. They do go for the 2, so this to make it all square.
I think the indicator there was a guy sprinting on with the cold.
Yeah.
A clue.
Well, this is a full-blooded cup game now, isn't it?
It's great, isn't it? It's great.
It is.
By the way, it's not too early to tell you, but if it's all square after 80 minutes, we're into golden point extra time.
Well, it's as tight as a drum, isn't it, this game?
Yeah.
It really is.
10 minutes each way, but it will be golden point within that 10 minutes. If it's all square. It's a dramatic skyline, isn't it?
It's a dramatic game.
I like that shot. I like that shot. Carefully placed by Kirk Gidley, whose Challenge Cup quarter-final epitaph we were a little too eager to write a little earlier, because he's quite clearly still out there.
I think it's muscular, so he's run it off. Whereas Sanders' injury is a joint injury, I think. It's a little bit tougher just to run off.
Big moment in a big game as Gidley puts it over, and it means we are all square. 12 points apiece. They're getting excited. We're getting excited. 26 minutes to play to sort this one out. 12-12. Just as we would have wanted it to be. Richie Mathers just having a word there with Tony Smith. He's involved with the player welfare here these days, isn't he, Richie? Still playing at the Bradford Bulls.
Ooh, big run.
Good kick.
There he is.
Go.
That's good defence.
They're rocking here now.
Yeah. It's got the feel of a cup tie now. There's that bit of urgency about it.
Hill will take it forward, using that footwork of his to try and eke out an extra yard or two. Wants to get up quickly to play it, can't, isn't allowed to. And it's a team warning. You can see the referee swinging his arm round there. He's not loosening his shoulder joints. He's telling Widnes you're on a team warning. So next penalty for anything, and whoever commits it is off for 10 minutes in the sin bin.
Within a certain period of time. And there's the holding down. It was the second row again, Houston.
Yeah.
It's rather a vague period of time, isn't it? The
is.
referee decides how long that time is.
It does, yes.
Dennis Betts knows that this is an important set here.
Yeah, got to be squeaky now.
Dwyer going left. Widnes hanging on down the middle. We're going to be hearing from Robbie in just a second, but let's see how this develops now in the next few moments. Gidley again. Away from one, and Evans with a step back on the inside, and Evans with another step. But Hanbury and Cahill between them. One's a speed bumper, the other's a full stop. But now it's Sandow. Sandow with a kick. That's a good one, is it? Oh, it's a juggle. And it's taken by Thompson. It'll be a drop out underneath the sticks. Let's hear from Robbie Hunter-Paul, who's down on the sidelines. Robbie.
Well, these Challenge Cup games are all about pressure. When we get to 23 minutes left in the game, it's going to be the team that's got the experience that's going to step up to the mark. And at this point in time, Warrington have had the most exposure to the success in the Challenge Cup, and it's them that are coming out on top at this point in time. Their halves, Stefan Ratford, these are the players to turn to in times like these.
Well, the possession and the territory really is in Warrington's favour in the early part of this second half, the first 15 minutes, but they must make it pay.
Dwyer out of dummy half to Hill, and Hill again, the warrior down the middle.
Move, keep coming.
20 metres away. Dwyer will pick it up and have a run, just to see if those limbs are tiring a little. There was a hint of it, but he's put down 5 out. Now it comes back to Gidley. It's Hughes. Hughes dummies inside, flicks to Evans. Arvan comes in, and he's squashed Rhys Evans. Still tackles in the back. Ratchford going nowhere. Hoston's got him. Down he goes. One tackle to go. It's Dwyer. Gidley. Tried to get the kick. Played at. Yes. Back to one. Warrington have it back again. Another set of 6. Another set to have a go. Dwyer doesn't need 6. He just needs 1 and a determination, and will score. Warrington have the lead. Widnes, resistance broken finally. And they are bouncing in sheer delight.
Yeah, it's great reward for Warrington. They upped the intensity, the pace of the game. They kept possession. A few penalties. Discipline went for Widnes, and the pressure told in the end. But the fresh legs of this kid, he just shot out of the blocks, and it's a brilliant finish by the hooker.
Well, pressure told, did it? Field position and possession. Played at the last tackle play there. And then after they regained possession, you can see Dwyer is scanning from dummy half. He sees the late retreat, all of a sudden off he goes, and over he goes. Real clever dummy half play there, scanning all the time as he was approaching there. Then he's out like a Jack Russell from the dummy half, and over he goes.
Yeah, Houston's slipped over as well, which I think he's a little bit too wide. The prop forwards, or first defender there, he was a little bit too wide. Slipped over getting there, but that's a brilliant finish.
He was in the shadows of the first team last year, Brad Dwyer, wasn't he? He was sent out to London on loan, and he was called back as an emergency when Mickey Hyam signed for Lee, because they suddenly needed a half-back, a dummy half. And when he came back, he was an absolute revelation, wasn't he? And he has been ever since. Even Tony Smith admitted he wasn't expecting that kind of progression from him as quickly as it came. Dwyer with a try, Gidley looking to add the 2, which would give Warrington a 6-point lead. They are in the lead for the first time since the half-hour mark. 18 points to 12. It's boiling up nicely here.
It is. It'll be interesting now to see the response from Widnes. They had to be squeaky clean with the penalties, but that's just clever. As Jonathan rightly said, it was too wide, was Houston at A defender. He spotted that as he scanned, as he approached the dummy half, and through he went. And I think Tony Smith feels that the substitution was justified.
Yeah, and he's gone, just play it down there. Oh!
I think you can sum up Charlie Runciman's involvement in that as second best.
Yeah.
He hurt himself trying to get involved. Warrington making progress again. Bit between their teeth now. Dwyer again, ranging away. This time he's got a hold of Luluai, Cahill, amongst those in there. This is Hill again, Chris Hill.
Move, keep coming. Go.
Couple of tackles to go. Ratchford trying to make mincemeat of the defence down the middle, but they respond, and on the 6, Sandow will put the kick away, again under heavy pressure. Whitley got there quickly. Down it comes though into the arms of the fullback Hanbury, who claims he was challenged in mid-air. Referee says get on with it, and they do get on with it. By the way, if you're enjoying tonight, don't forget tomorrow 5:15 we're on air for the Wigan-Castleford game. It'll be the last of the quarter-finals. 5:15 on air, 5:30 kick-off, and after that game we have the draw for the semi-final. So plenty of reasons to be on BBC Two tomorrow. I can't imagine there's anything else going on in the sporting world tomorrow.
No,
that's going to be the highlight.
Can't think of anything, to be honest. Can't think of anything.
Here's Brown. Again, just looking for the touchline, but back there to cover is Matty Russell.
Move line, keep coming.
Who's your money on, John Keir?
Go.
Well, if Warrington maintain this intensity and focus, it'll be Warrington, but at some stage Widnes are going to get a run of possession which will change the momentum, and when that happens, that's when Widnes have got to take advantage.
Chris. Wait. Go free.
Westwood.
Move McGrath. Play on. One forward.
Hill again. See Cahill leading the tackles, and you see the top 3 of Widnes all above the top 3 of Warrington. Comes down safely into the hands of Corey Thompson, who's away, but there's a speedster after him in the shape of Kevin Petty to drag him down. Corey Thompson was electric at the start of the year. I think he was averaging 2 tries a game. That's gone backwards. Slowed down a little, but he's still prolific. Now it comes to Runciman. Runciman trying to put his head between the two and maybe get Arvan away, but the second part of that equation was not going to come off. And now it's taken in again by Luluai. Jeremiah. White to Brown. To Hanbury. Couple of tackles to go.
Well, this has been a very good set, hasn't it? All started off by Corey Thompson.
Brown puts it into that pocket behind the goal line, and Curry has to get out of there. He's got out of there.
Big play that from the second row filling in the centre to get back in the field of play. Gidley looking for the penalty there. But that was marvellous play from Ben Curry.
Ratchford. Dwyer. Again to Westerman. Looks for the inside ball for Sandow. Now is he hurt again here? No, he's not. He's okay. Hill. Lovely flick. Westwood.
Well, there are some tired bodies out there, Dave, so there's going to be some gaps opening up on both teams.
The final play of that set sees Sandow send the ball downfield. Hanbury dodges away from Sandow and anyone else who cares to get in his way. And here he goes towards and over the halfway line. And again, it's a big tackle, this time from Hughes.
Marvellous kick return there from Reece Hanbury. They just need to play now on the front foot, play quick.
Bridge. 2 tackles and they're already inside the 40 metres, inside the Warrington half. Brown again. Dodson, big fella, crashing it in. Widnes are getting closer and closer here. Brown Dummies, and then it's to Houston. Houston back to Brown. Brown over the top. Runciman will score. That's a very good rugby league try. That's a terrific rugby league try. Runciman touching down. Widnes back in touching distance.
That is a brilliant, brilliant response. All the momentum has been with Warrington, and as John said, they will have their time, and they have taken the opportunity. They are back in the game. It's a brilliant, brilliant cup tie. To in and throw in. Great play by both sides.
That was a marvellous try, wasn't it? But it all came with this kick return. What a marvellous kick return from Rhys Handry. Lovely bit of footwork. Used a bit of strength there to fend him off. Dwyer couldn't chase him down. Gets right up to the halfway. That gets them on the front foot. They maintained the composure. Came towards the end of the set. And it was a great pass selection there from Kevin Brown. But this was even better. Just instinct. And over he goes, Runciman in the corner. Great, great, great try.
This is a brilliant offload. Just what? He takes the ball on the short run. Houston, and just as he goes down, that is a brilliant offload and a lovely pass, brilliantly finished, easy finish. What great play by Widnes.
That's some skill. That's some skill in these conditions.
Start to finish. The whole try, start to finish.
Brilliant step from this guy to start. Good. That was a good kick chase. Really good kick chase. They got all over him. Brilliant step.
So having started it, he needs to finish it, because this is a big kick from Hanbury to make it all square again. He's kept his nerve, he's kept his cool. It is all square, 18 points apiece. It's a cup tie that still has to be settled.
This is what
Robbie Hunter-Paul.
What cup ties are all about.
Very interesting just watching Kirk Gidley and Stefan Retson absolutely laying into the Warrington players at that point in time. They know they need to stay in this game if they're going to come away with a win today.
What's he doing on the pitch? Get off, Rob.
Get off the field. Get off the field. He thinks he can still play.
Okay, Steph.
15 minutes to go to sort it out. 18 points apiece. The place is rocking now.
We're in for a great last 15, I'll tell you, Dave, because there's two tight teams there, but there's two teams who've got massive, massive desire to get to the semis.
That's risky, that was risky. Got away with it.
I think if Ben West would have noticed that, I think he would have been favoured to drop on it, but instead it's Patrick Alban who collected it for Widnes.
Move, Ben. Hold.
Jeremiah, here's Brown, behind the 40 when he lets that fly. How's the bounce? Oh, it's okay for Ratchford, but it's a good chase. But Ratchford's got the presence of mind and the support of Kevin Penny. But Widnes' determination are up there to make the tackle good.
It's a very good chase, and there's some tired Warrington bodies now getting behind the ball.
It's good play by the back three, though. And they just gave the forwards a bit of time to get back. The three of them worked together.
Dwyer, his relatively fresh pair of legs are going to be important here for Warrington now. Gidley, Hill. Oh, Sandow wasn't expecting that. It's kicked on by Miller, played at, so they get another set there. Would he have been wiser to drop on the ball there, Miller?
Yeah. And then Cahill was brilliant again. Straight up pressure.
I think Jonathan indicated in the first that he's an instinctive player, this Miller, and his instinct was to toe poke it.
Clark, plenty of space to run into here. But once he finds the wall, it's unmovable.
Kevin, wait. Go.
Dwyer,
Gale, you're out.
Gidley, Westwood.
5. Move, come on.
Last play of the set, 30 yards out. Is it going to be a steepler here from Sandow? It is. Where's it coming down? Oh, and it's knocked out and backwards, and he's recovered it as Thompson, and now he's got a chance to counter. Wow.
What a game. That's marvellous. You thought he was out of the game there. He challenged for the ball, and he hits the ground, and then is up and is off.
Great hit again, Westwood. Oh, he went in seconds. He had a bit of seconds, did he?
Contact there on the head.
Contact on the head.
To the head.
That's a big call. That's a big call.
There's contact on the head. Just wait, Kev.
I thought that was a great hit. Just watch. How was that contact on the head? That's a brilliant tackle, I think.
Second phase. Yeah.
That's a bit harsh. That's a brilliant hit.
Let's go down.
What's happened here? I was looking at the replay, so I can only assume here that a Warrington player has got a hand on it.
Yes, I think they went for distance, did the Vikings with their kick to touch.
No, when the ball's on the foot.
They touched the ball, so it'll be head and feet anyway for the Widnes Vikings. I think all the players are happy for a bit of respite as well, Jonathan, because it's been air and scared, hasn't it, the second half?
The last 10 minutes, offloads, half breaks, it's opened up a lot. And the players are blowing a bit, which, gives players like this guy the opportunity, and Brown pick the tired ones off.
Cahill. Jeremiah. Whitley put down 30 yards away, 18 all. Remember, we could be moving into golden point territory. 11 minutes of the match remaining.
Well, if you don't, this is the time to take it now.
Brown, Houston. 10 away, 4 gone. 2 tackles to go in the set here. Brown down this left-hand side, the miss-out pass again. It's Arvan off the floor.
Well, it's not the field position for the field drop goal.
Brown looking to thread it into that in-goal area. It needs dealing with. Ratchford has dealt with it, but only in as much as conceding the dropout again here.
He's not sure, though. He's not sure. He's not sure if Ratchford played at it.
Well, it was a very, very good kick, Jonathan, because they were on the sideline, and he just managed to grub the ball through.
Had to go for it. Yeah, it was a very good play. They went too far wide for the drop, the drop goal.
If he'd had his foot on the floor on the other side of the line, that would have been a tap on the 20, wouldn't it? But he didn't quite have his foot on the floor.
He couldn't afford to overrun the ball and leave the ball bounce. Dave.
Here comes the wave of white from Widnes. Cahill driving it in. First time up. Jeremiah stands and waits. All square, 18 apiece. 10 minutes left to play.
Move, Ben, keep coming, wait.
Who breaks the game wide open from here? Dudson. Still going, Dudson. He's made a case for man of the match tonight. Dennis Betts is wriggling in his seat, such is the tension of the moment here. Mellor throws it wide, quick hands, well, I was going to question whether it had gone forward, but it has certainly gone out of play.
They needed composure there.
Yep.
They just needed the composure, didn't have to rush it. They were in control of the game. Plenty of tacklers left.
You got the message about marking, make sure we're square, all right?
I'm with you there, Jonathan. Perhaps the wrong play selection.
I think so.
Wait for the out call, guys. On the out call.
I just feel that Warrington individually have got the far more dangerous players. Clark and Ratchford, and Curry. They can do something from nothing, from anywhere really. You just still favour them at the moment.
There's Russell.
Go play on.
This is Dwyer.
Third! Move, keep coming, Aaron. Go.
Hill. Over the halfway line with 4 tackles gone, 2 to go. Clark again, but he's going nowhere, slips.
Move, Chris, hold your 10. Way, go.
Last tackle. Sandow. Putting it high. Forward comes Hanbury. Hanbury always claimed it and then dropped it. It's gone forward, and it's not only gone forward, it's been dropped on by Cahill in an offside position. So now Warrington get a very kickable penalty. This might be the match-winning moment.
Yeah, they've used that tactic all through the game. Peppered the back three with high kicks. That was a great challenge by Gidley there to make it a difficult catch for Hanbury, and Cahill is in the offside position. And it ain't accidental, so
that's what you've got to do, isn't it? You have to compete for the ball in the air, and that's what Gidley did there. You can question as much as you want. It's an offside because I think Hanbury said I was, tackled in the air. He wasn't tackled in the air.
No.
He was competing for the ball and made it difficult for Hanbury, and he picked the ball up in an offside position. That is unfortunately for Widnes, that is the correct decision.
And he did really well, didn't he, Gidley? He was in at kicker, and then he pulled wider because Sando came across, and his chase was first class, and he just contested the ball. And if you're up there contesting, things happen.
Well, Kirk Gidley is very much the man for the big occasion, isn't he? Over 250 NRL appearances, 12 Australian caps, a former New South Wales captain. But as occasions go, this is pretty big. Puts this one over. Warrington might have 1 foot in the Challenge Cup semi-final, and he has put it over. Normally eminently kickable from that position, but under these conditions maybe just a little bit tougher, but nerveless, absolutely nerveless from Gidley, and Warrington lead by 20 points to 18.
Yeah, and then it's the correct decision, as demonstrated by James Child, but there's still a good 6 minutes left, and that's a pretty good kick.
Oh, well done, right, well held.
Well done by Russell. One spilled ball here can change the whole complexion again, couldn't it? Westwood.
Well, there's one chance, isn't there? There's another chance in this game.
Matt, hold your 10.
6 minutes to go, and that was very nearly an opportunity, wasn't it? 6 minutes to go, so Widnes are going to get the ball back at least 4 or 5 times. 4 times. Westwood. Warrington want to get away from their end as quickly as possible. And here comes Hughes.
Well, it's interesting as well this half that Warrington have really majored, haven't they, on dummy half runs, and it has altered the complexity of the game.
It has. They've got 2 runners out there. Dwyer's come on, Clark's gone in, they've alternated, and they've got that the yardage.
See, they've virtually caught up the Widnes total there.
Time off. Yeah,
they were way behind.
They were. But it certainly turned the game, and that was a good kick there from Gidley to manage the game. And Clark
Warrington fans in fine voice at the moment, hoping to roar their side home from this position. Clock has been stopped ahead of this scrum.
Wait for the out call. Make sure we're set up properly. Heads in, Ben. Ball in.
Miller's feed. Bridge, and out they come. This is where they tackle for their cup lives, isn't it, here, Warrington? Keep themselves on side, but make sure they make every tackle count.
Yeah, you front load your energy here to restrict yardage, you really do.
Houston. A sturdy carry, but nothing spectacular. 5 minutes to play. 3 tackles in this set here. McGrath Luluai spun down. Brown, inside ball, Dutson pops it up back again, another of the offloads from the Welshman. Brown, out to Runciman. Runciman with a step, Evans gathers him up, and with the help of 2 others, gathers him in. 6 tackle is the next. Brown, 40 metres out, gets the kick away. There's a potential of offside for the chasers here. Ratchford up though, has already juggled and kept a hold in the end. Sandow was looking for the penalty.
Yeah, he was.
It's not given. Here's Clark.
Well, this is where Widnes need to invest a bit of energy in their defensive line speed.
That's very tough, this, 70-odd minutes gone.
Bailey. Ryan Bailey. Oh, exciting moments for young and old alike as Sandow gets the kick away downfield, and again it's just a really, really efficient kick that winds the clock down a bit more and winds Widnes up a bit more.
Well, Widnes are jogging to the scrum to try and get these stop clocks. As soon as it's formed, there's a half-back, it will be stopped, but a clever kick, wasn't it, from Sandow, just over the sideline, run the clock down, get their defensive line set.
Been a great cup match.
Nice and tidy this scrum. Heads bound.
By the way, you had the responsibility of picking man of the match here tonight, the Ladbrokes man of the match, so get your thinking caps on together. And come up with a decision soon is the message from down below, by the way.
Right, well, there's plenty of candidates, there really are.
There is.
Runciman.
Move Reece, Ryan. Wait, go.
Arvan, there might be a match winner yet here, there might be a man of the match.
Help! Release, 2, go.
White.
Move Brad. Keep coming.
They've still got tackles on the bag now, Widnes. Brown's ball back on the inside again. Off goes Mellor. Mellor gets it away. The tackle from Bailey, though. Precipitous on Jeremiah. And now it comes back for Brown once again. Brown dodging off that left foot. Runs into a big bruising shoulder, but still gets the offload. Hanbury now will step. Hanbury sees a little bit of daylight between defenders, but it closes quickly. And he puts it back. And Clark drops on it. And Warrington have the ball back.
Yeah, miracle ball. Looking for the miracle ball. It goes to Clark.
I think Clark was struggling to get back there. He was tired.
He was tired.
All of a sudden the ball's there for him. It's a risky offload, but he'll take that, will Darren Clark.
Oh, moments like those age a coach by many years. And this is Hill. Both sides doing well to play the game above walking pace at the moment. Such has been the sapping, draining nature of this match.
It's been very humid as well, hasn't it, Dave? It's been a great game.
So the kick from Sandow should give Widnes possession back, and this will almost certainly be their last set of the game.
Wait till you're back. Wait till you're back.
Just under 2 minutes to go. Tap restart on the 20. It's all on this moment now.
It's interesting the Warrington wingers are back for if they tried to kick it into touch to gain yards.
Wait.
Tackle 1 is done. Tackle 2 is complete on Manikafoa. Brown now. They have to find a play. Clark finds a wonderful tackle, but somehow Widnes keep it alive. Jeremiah to that right-hand side. Mellor steps away from the advancing Sandow, but there are more willing arms to take him down. King making that tackle. Jeremiah again. Now Houston. Houston just to the halfway line. 4 tackles gone, 2 to go. 2 plays for Widnes to make something happen. Brown puts a little kick over the top. Here goes the chase. Warrington have it. Warrington have it. Penny claims it safely, and that should be the game if Warrington keep it safe now.
Well, I'm sure it'll be very conservative and low risk and over the sideline.
Jonathan Davis, man of the match, quickly.
Well, it's, you know, Ambry's been brilliant, Card's been brilliant, but it's got to go to Kurt Gidley, Ladbrokes man of the match tonight. It's Kurt Gidley, brilliant performance.
So well done to Kurt Gidley, but he knows the match isn't quite won yet. Less than 30 seconds to go. This is tackle 5, so they'll be desperate to find a touch here. Sandow just boots it, but it's taken by Thompson. Thompson runs it back. Ambitious ball back to the middle. Hanbury lifts it left. Here comes Arvan. Patrick Arvan. Evans gets a hold and pulls him down. Will they have time to play the ball? Will they have time? Yes. This is the last play. This is the last play. Brown puts a kick through. Dwyer knocks on, but gathers it at the second attempt. And Warrington have clung on. They've spent all their energy in doing it, but they have clung on to a famous derby win against Widnes, and they've also booked a place in the Ladbrokes Challenge Cup semi-finals.
What a fantastic game of rugby league that was. There's been 34 players out there and have absolutely given their all. The standard's been very high despite difficult conditions. There really doesn't deserve to be a loser, but Warrington just shaded it with Gidley's late penalty.
Yeah, brilliant match, you know, brilliantly played by both sides. I think just, you know, they just edged it a little bit. Warrington deserved to win it, possession, they turned it round. Brilliant play.
Warrington are into their 5th consecutive semi-final. They have beaten Widnes by 20 points to 18. Tanya.
Kurt, congratulations, man of the match. Blimey, that was tight.
Yeah, it was really tough on me. That's what I was expecting after all I've heard about
the Challenge Cup, and it's a knockout competition, and I mean every team's got a chance. It's a 2-horse race, and I thought, we probably made too many errors, too many penalties in the second part of the first half, which that really took it out of us. They started to get a roll on, scored a try on the back of that, but I thought we showed some real character in the second half to fight back.
You looked cool as a cucumber when you took that kick. Was the heart pounding a little bit?
Oh yeah, I think as a kicker everyone wants that opportunity, but that's part of my job description, I guess, and good to get it over.
Congratulations. Let's bring in your coach, Tony Smith. Quick hug for the man of the match. Tony, how were the nerves at the end of that?
Yeah, they were going. It was hard work. We made hard work of it today, and all credit to Widnes. They came and had a real crack at us, and they played really well. And we made a few too many errors in some areas and a few too many penalties, but hey, we had to soak it up, and we did.
Congratulations, you're into the semi-finals. Cheers, Tony.
Goodness me, that was a brutal game of rugby league, wasn't it?
You bit your nails towards the end there. I thought it was everything that's great about our game as well. A lot of desire, a lot of passion shown. Fine margins of errors to separate these two teams. A goal kick in the end. The try by Widnes is superb, and I think both of these teams have exemplified what this competition's about.
Personally, for me, I think it's fitting that a kick separated both sides, because you asked me what the difference was between the two. I think it was Gidley and Sandow's kicking. I think generally throughout the game they applied more pressure and were more accurate with what they did when they kicked the ball on last play.
And actually the fact that a winning kick, a winning penalty came from an error as well, because so many of the scores tonight came from errors, John.
Yeah, tough task for Hanbury to catch that cleanly. Heb Cahill instinctively dives on the ball. Ultimately that was a penalty, but Gidley's been brought to add composure, calmness, and he kicked the winning 2 points.
And it was the one applying pressure to the fullback there. He forced an error in the end, found in it to do that.
I thought discipline let Widnes down in the second half. They give away 3 or 4 penalties at key moments. As a result of that, Widnes got on the wrong end of field position. Warrington ultimately scored a try through Dwyer and spent enough time at the Widnes end to really punish them, and that came through a string of 3 or 4 penalties, I thought, in about a 10-minute period.
What's interesting as well is just being here is that Warrington and Widnes fans both stayed till after the final whistle to make sure that their respective teams got standing ovations.
Isn't that what sport's about? They've clearly seen that all their players have given their all. Have a look at the 2 sets of 17 at the end. They were on the back sides out there. They couldn't have given them any more. And I pick up on what John says about the discipline aspect. That's as much about Warrington to do. Houston was hanging on for dear life, and the passion, sometimes you don't get the time to have that thought processes where you give a penalty away.
Yeah, I think the fans stay at the end because the fans have an affinity with commitment from the players, and although I think the quality wasn't high, the commitment was outstanding from both sets of players.
And maybe just the more experienced, better game managed side won in the end.
Yeah, Gidley got man of the match for a reason, managed the game well. Sandow managed the game well. Both quality halfbacks, fantastic performance from them.
Thank you very much to all 3 of you. We have got more Challenge Cup rugby tomorrow, the quarter-final between Wigan and Castleford. That will be on BBC Two. It's a 5:30 kickoff. Kicks off at 5:15. The show begins, and the semi-final.
With a ding, and that's it from Macaulay. They're in dreamland. Victory for Northern Ireland. There's the man. Wales are through, and Northern Ireland progress.
Wales v Northern Ireland tomorrow from 4 on BBC One.
LCD sound system.
Skepta.
Little Sims.
Ronnie Spector's playing.
James Blake.
Stormzy.
Madness.
I'm planning to see ZZ Top this year.
You got the last of the Shadow Puppets.
Gregory Porter is amazing.
I shall be making a beeline for the acoustic tent.
Damon's there with a Syrian orchestra. Tame Impala on after us.
Art Garfunkel.
I've never seen Adele before, so I'd love to check that out.
Such a big, powerful voice.
I think Coldplay, because I'm determined to make Chris Martin my husband.
What?
And welcome to Glastonbury 2016, pretty much the greatest party and celebration of the arts in the world. There is so much to enjoy. You can see in the background, whether it's the music, the bands, whether it's the sculptures, whether it's the theatre or the circus guild, there is a lot of talent here and a lot to enjoy. And that's what we're bringing you over the course of this weekend. It's been a good day.
It's been an excellent day, yes. Greetings from the People's Free Republic of Glastonbury. It's an amazing evening. The light is spectacular. We're bringing you the greatest view of the site, actually. Over here is the park stage, and this tower, well, that's a slightly better view than we've got, but that's splitting hairs. The people on the top silhouetted there. Incredible view.